Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of my favorite game series spanning from the NES all the way up through the Wii. In this video, I want to share some of the games from my collection, give a brief overview of each, and some of my personal recommendations. I hope you enjoy. The first game in the series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was released by Konami in 1989 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This side-scrolling platform game is loosely based on the 1987 animated series. The Turtles adventure across New York City to rescue April, save Splinter, disarm a series of bombs, and destroy Shredder before he can use his Life Transformer gun against you. This is a single-player game that allows you to change between any of the turtles at any time during the game. Each turtle moves the same, but has unique fighting skills that set them apart. Donatello is by far the best character with his long-range and powerful attacks. Michelangelo is easily the worst with his short-range, weak attack power, and an easy choice for life-threatening jumps and situations. The gameplay allows both overhead and side-scrolling levels as you traverse across 6 stages: the streets of New York, the Hudson River, Wall Street, JFK Airport, Shredder's base inside the South Bronx, and the Technodrome. Throughout the game, you are able to gather both weapon and health power-ups as you fight a wide variety of enemies and bosses. While most bosses in the game are very easy, there are many difficult platforming areas requiring precise jumps and movement. This can be a bit unfriendly to newcomers of the series, but overall, it's a fun game and a classic on the NES. The second game in the series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Arcade Game, was released by Konami in 1990. Based on the 1989 arcade game, this title also draws inspiration from the animated series of the time. This side-scrolling beat-em-up allows you to play as any of the 4 turtles as you chase down your kidnapped friends and battle a variety of enemies and bosses. You will encounter foot soldiers, mousers, Bebop and Rocksteady, Baxter Stockman, Krang, and even Shredder. While the arcade game allows 4 players simultaneous action, the home port only allows 2 players. This is, however, a nice upgrade from the original NES game. One bonus over the arcade version is the addition of new levels and content. Many of the stages were extended, including 2 all-new levels, level 3 and 6. The turtles have a basic attack, a jump attack, and a special move that is powerful but causes you to lose a small amount of health. Unlike the original Turtles game on the NES, there are no weapon upgrades and minimal health recovery, making the game a little repetitive and fairly difficult. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3: The Manhattan Project was released by Konami for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1992. This game features play mechanics similar to Turtles 2: The Arcade Game, but it is a completely original title on the NES. In this side-scrolling beat-em-up, you must rescue April and the city of Manhattan from the evil clutches of Shredder. Like its predecessor, the game allows 2-player simultaneous action and the ability to choose between each of the 4 turtles. The controls are mostly unchanged from the second NES game, with 1 attack button and 1 jump button. One addition is the turtles can now perform a toss attack against their enemies by holding the D-pad downward while pressing B. This is very fun and satisfying. A special attack can again be performed by pressing A and B simultaneously. This will drain some of your life, but if you're on your last health bar, you can use the attack without being penalized. The game is composed of a total of 8 levels, spanning from the beaches of Florida, the floating island of Manhattan, the Technodrome, and to Krang's spaceship. The game's regular enemies include a variety of foot soldiers, giant mousers, and stone warriors. The game's bosses include villains from the cartoon series and toy line, such as Dirtbag, Groundchuck, Slash, Leatherhead, in addition to the appearance of Toka and Razor from the movie Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. This game offers all of the fun from the arcade game, but is an upgrade in almost every way. Konami released another game in 1992, Turtles 4: Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo. Originally a 1991 arcade sequel to the first TMNT arcade game, a home port was seen the following year. The home version was renamed as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, acting as a sequel to the Manhattan Project released the same year. The story begins as Krang flies into New York City and steals the Statue of Liberty. The Turtles must battle through a wide variety of levels to track him down. Starting out in the city and sewers of New York, a battle with Shredder sends him through a time warp. Here you fight through creative levels of past and future eras to make your way back home. With 2 players simultaneously, this is another side-scrolling beat-em-up that allows you to choose from each of the 4 turtles to control. The play control is similar to previous entries in the series, but with a few new features. You now have the ability to execute a power attack by hitting an enemy several times in a row, and the ability to slam foot soldiers into surrounding enemies. You can also run, perform a slide or dash attack, and fling enemies into the screen. This is very rewarding and my favorite feature of the game. Many familiar enemies make appearances here, including foot soldiers, stone warriors, Bebop and Rocksteady, Toka and Razor, Shredder, and even Krang. This game went on to become Konami's best-selling arcade title and is a fantastic entry in the series. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist was released for the Sega Genesis by Konami, also in 1992. A side-scrolling beat-em-up based on the Turtles franchise, this game is the first in the series released on the Sega Genesis. More chaos ensues on Manhattan Island, this time shrinking under the power of the Hyperstone. The Turtles must chase down and defeat Shredder to stop him from taking over the world. The gameplay of Hyperstone Heist is heavily based on the Super Nintendo installment of Turtles in Time, which released the same year. The main control differences are the run ability being assigned to a specific button, and the player no longer being able to throw enemies toward the screen. Players can still choose from and play as each turtle, and enjoy 2-player simultaneous play. Compared to Turtles in Time, there are fewer but longer levels of gameplay. There are a total of 5 stages between New York City, a mysterious ghost ship, Shredder's hideout, the Gauntlet, and the final Shell Shock. Many familiar enemies appear throughout the game, but some new characters make a debut, including Tatsu from the live-action films. Other differences from Turtles in Time include faster gameplay, more background layers, and clearer sprite movement. The 2 games share a similar soundtrack, but the songs play faster in Hyperstone Heist. All in all, this game is a great addition to the TMNT series. In 2003, Konami released Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Nintendo GameCube. This game is a side-scrolling beat-em-up based on the 2003 cartoon series. The main story arc adapts episodes from the first season and incorporates many cutscenes from the show. The graphics and voice acting are some of the highlights of the game. You have the choice to play as any turtle as you venture through the 1 or 2 player story mode. This game missed a great opportunity to incorporate 4-player simultaneous play, which would have been fairly easy to do on the GameCube. All of the turtles control fairly similarly, each with weak attacks, strong attacks, the ability to dash, and perform combo moves. One shortcoming with the control scheme is the lack of a block button, making it difficult to dodge projectiles and attacks, and turning the game into somewhat of a repetitive button masher. Scattered throughout the levels are various weapons, buffs, and health power-ups to help you along the way. Aside from the main story, the game offers a challenge mode and a versus mode where 2 players fight head-to-head as a variety of favorite characters. Although the game has some minor flaws, it provides an overall fun experience on the GameCube. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Battle Nexus was released by Konami in 2004 for the Nintendo GameCube. A sequel to the Turtles game released the previous year, this third-person beat-em-up also draws from the animated series of the time. The story this time is based mostly on the second series of the cartoon. Where the previous game only offers 2-player action, this game fixed that problem and allows 4-player simultaneous play. Not only can you choose from each of the 4 turtles to play as, but also unlock Splinter, Karai, Casey Jones, and Slasher as playable characters. Unlike the previous game, you can switch between characters on the fly, and players share 1 health bar. Characters once again have both weak and strong attacks, along with a variety of combination moves. A block ability is now included, but the ability to manipulate the camera view is still missing. The gameplay also feels sluggish and awkward, making it difficult to time jumps and attacks. An upgrade from the previous game, each turtle has unique abilities that help players progress through the game. Leonardo can attack while dashing and cut through certain obstacles. Raphael can lift and push heavy objects. Michelangelo can fly with his nunchucks and reflect projectile attacks. And Donatello can operate computer consoles and fire a laser. Another game mode presents 4 tournaments where you fight off waves of oncoming enemy attacks. Other objectives in the game include collecting artifacts to unlock artwork and unlockable content, and collecting crystals to increase your attack and defense abilities. One of the best extras in the game is a port of the original TMNT arcade game. Unfortunately, you have to play through the entire game before you can unlock it. The third installment on the Nintendo GameCube, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Mutant Nightmare, was released by Konami in 2005. The story is again based on the 2003 animated cartoon, this time adapting episodes from the 3rd season. Another third-person beat-em-up, Konami finally gets things right with a 3rd installment in the GameCube series. The camera can now be controlled with the C-stick, and the gameplay is much smoother and more responsive. Again, we have 4-player simultaneous action, but the turtles are slightly more generic without individual skill sets. The cooperative play is enhanced, however, adding the ability to perform team attacks. You can lock onto enemies to focus your efforts on individual foes. Below the health bar is a special attack gauge. When filled, the player can unleash a devastating team attack achieved by pressing the corresponding button combinations. These can be difficult to pull off, but are a very nice addition to the gameplay. Additional game modes include challenge and free battle. During the game, you can collect DVDs to watch videos in the movie viewer, as well as crystals and ninja scrolls to upgrade your skills and special powers. Similar to Battle Nexus, you can unlock an arcade mode, this time featuring Turtles in Time. The music is different and gameplay seems slightly faster, but it's a welcome bonus to the main game. TMNT was released with ports both on the GameCube and the Wii by Ubisoft in 2007. This is the first Ninja Turtles game released by a company other than Konami. Based on the movie released the same year, Ubisoft completely changes up the gameplay from the previous GameCube iterations. This single-player game is very story-driven, developing the personality and emotion of each character. The battle system introduces a star meter that, when filled, allows you to unleash a mega attack where all enemies are defeated in one hit. You can also charge your attack to assault all of the enemies on the screen. In addition to the classic fighting sections, the game has heavy focus on acrobatic segments similar to the Prince of Persia series. Players must perform wall runs, scale buildings, swing across poles, and wall jump as they make their way across each level. Each turtle has unique special abilities that help you clear each area. Leonardo can warp through certain walls, Michelangelo can fly short distances with his nunchucks, Raphael can climb walls with his sais, and Donatello can vault across pits with his bow staff. When the turtles reunite, you can switch between characters on the fly and perform a variety of team attacks. A brother throw can be performed to help you overcome long jumps and obstacles. During battle, different family attacks can be performed depending on the turtle you have selected. These moves are incredibly fun and entertaining. A challenge mode is also available where you race against the clock while traversing different obstacle courses. During the main game and challenge modes, turtle shells are collected to unlock artwork and other goodies. Exclusive to the Wii version are 9 unlockable minigames that add some variety to the gameplay. The fighting system on the Wii requires you to swing the Wiimote and nunchuck to attack, which gets old very quickly. The two versions are otherwise the same, and I personally prefer the GameCube version due to the control scheme. Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was released on the Nintendo Wii in 2013 by Activision. This game is a third-person beat-em-up brawler based on Nickelodeon's 2012 animated TV series. The story unfolds as the Turtles must find and deactivate a mutagen bomb before it mutates the entire city of New York. You fight across several stages along your adventure, including the rooftops of New York, Bradford's Dojo, TCRI, and Shredder's Hideout. This is a 4-player game that allows you to play as each of the 4 turtles and switch between characters on the fly. Each turtle controls similarly, with slight differences in their attack moves. You have a standard attack, a grab move, and a secondary projectile weapon. A neat throwback to Turtles in Time, you can grab and throw enemies at the screen, which never gets old. As you fight, a power attack meter slowly builds. When full, an ultimate fury attack can be unleashed. One upside of the control scheme is that you don't have to swing the Wiimote and nunchuck to attack. Many familiar enemies appear throughout the game, including the Foot Clan and Mousers. Some newer foes make an appearance from the show, such as Crane Droids and Fishface. As you defeat enemies, yellow stones are collected that allow you to buy upgrades for your turtle's movesets. Mutagen canisters are also collectible, allowing you to unlock extra game modes. Although the game is fairly short and a bit repetitive, it offers some fun elements of gameplay that make it a decent addition to the series. Although there are a lot of great games in the series, some are better than others. Here are some of my personal power picks. Some of my personal favorites in the series would be the Konami releases from 1992, Manhattan Project, Turtles in Time, and Hyperstone Heist. Some of the best games in the series. Highly recommended if you can get your hands on them. For something a little more modern, Turtles 3 Mutant Nightmare is a cool choice for a little bit different gameplay and with the ability to unlock Turtles in Time as an added bonus. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave comments below for what some of your favorites in the series are, or if there's any other series that you'd like to take a closer look at. Thank you for watching.